All right. The All right, let's get into it, everybody. Good afternoon. We are going to flip right to this Fox 29 Philadelphia feed of the Manhunt. And give me 1 second. We will get rid of this. We'll go full screen on this. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. We're going to get right into it, and then we're going to get to the press conference here shortly. So this is the chopper feed For some reason, they're circling around a church and have been circling around a church here recently. So this is day 12. Again, if you have anything you'd like to send to me, please, Evil CJ on Discord. Actually, let me update that because it's not a number anymore. There we go. Whoops. Where'd it go? Oh, StreamYard. Come on. Where'd you go? Sorry about that. Here we go. Just Evil CJ on Discord now. Again, this is day 12. And here's the tip line. And we're going to kind of check out flight radar. We're going to see kind of what's going on and then some updates. I was doing my 9/11 special. Thank you to everybody hanging out for that. I have not been able to catch up on any updates. So if there is any updates, please drop them in chat. I appreciate it. Again, if there is any links that you would like to send to me that I can include for the show, please send them to Discord at EvilCJ, EvilCJ at Gmail, EvilCJ at Twitter. And if I happen to miss it or not notice, please let me know in chat. Because I get a lot of stuff and I do miss things. No, I did not, Kelly. And thank you everybody for hanging out. We will go to the press conference as soon as it pops. And I might be I think I'm going to get prepared to make the trip out there, everybody. So, depending on what's going to happen this evening, I'm not sure. I might not have a show. But I can guarantee one thing. Whenever I do hit the road, if that's what I choose, I'm going to kind of let this stuff play out the next few hours. See what this is all about. Kind of see how, get that instinct feel. And I'm going to be throwing a football like a quarterback. I'm going to be throwing it before it gets there. And then that way, when it gets there, then I'll already be meeting. So what's the deal with the church here? What's up, Caddy? Catastrophe. Yoli Yoli. I would love to be able to have you on panel. I know you're busy, but just let me know. What's up, Mama J? Thank you for hopping in. Judgmental, thank you. Appreciate it. When we do talk Idaho 4 next, I got a video to show you guys of judgmentals. I want to show you guys, and I'll be having some of that coming up here. We'll see though what's up with this manhunt. We just have to let this thing play out. I'll also be stopping by East Palestine. So if you know of any community members that are out there in East Palestine or this location, please have them reach out to me or you. And we can schedule a time to sit down and talk. I'm not sure why they're circling this church. Let me see here. Kelly Miller, what's up? Kib Kitty, hype music. Yeah, that 80s. Woo, woo, woo. I'm still waiting for Tech Death Hippie to. He's got something in some stew cooking. What's up, Caledonian Celt? Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll be bringing you much more. I'm going to be I still have a lot to prep for, but the presentation, when I'm on location, the presentation is going to be something different like you guys haven't seen. What's up, LR? Thank you for hopping in. Yeah, it's going to be a presentation like you haven't seen, and of course, it's a collective effort. It's going to be part of a team, and so I appreciate them. But you're going to see me on location. We'll have flight radar, screen share, scanner radio. We'll have all that for you going on one live stream right here. And Polly, I'll go ahead and fix that after the show. But my mods are the best mods, so I'll fix that after the show. But my mods are the best mods, and that's just me, so my mods already know what to do. My mods already know what to do. And they do a damn good job, too. I'm going to share a tweet with you guys real quick. I thought this was funny and fitting as well. A couple tweets, actually. The first one, and I love this. I just had to. Nick the Hat. Nick the Hat had. Oh, it's not. Hold on. Nick the Hat put out a very interesting tweet, and it says 2023 word of the year perimeter. And I responded, that capsulate pressure and squeeze tactic worked so effectively. They got jokes. They got jokes. Because they do. They got jokes. Next thing I'm going to share with you guys real quick is a tweet from Grizzly. And there's mine if you want to have some fun with that one. This one's from Grizzly, and I'll click on this. If you're local, consider supporting Carco gas station in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. They were so kind to the police and took a hard knock on their business and are trying to recover. And mods, if you can do me a favor, if you can map or give me the location of that and just drop it in the planning, I definitely want to try and make sure that I have the emptiest gas tank I can have without being unsafe. And I want to fill up my damn tank. And I want to go buy a bunch of snacks and some coffee from that gas station. And I want you all to be there with me when I do it. All right, we're going to go back to this live feed from Fox Philly. I'm not playing. I'm going to get a coffee, a bunch of snacks. I'm going to fill my tank up. Carco, you are going to be in the destination. Some wind chimes. Well, I do need to pick up little things from locations that I go. And I would love to have a map here at the studio where I would have, you know, those little thumbtacks of all the locations with a number. So I can look back at it one day and watch my travel history all on one map from beginning to end. They'd all be numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you know, yada, yada. I want to be able to look at that map one day and look at it and actually retrace every single trip from the first one to the last one, if I'm allowed that opportunity. Well, of course, on these long trips, I'm going to have to invest in something. Yep, everything has been repaired, retuned on the vehicle. And we got time. We got time. One day I'm going to have that Sprinter van or some kind of like, because I need to have a couch and I need to have a place that I can kind of cook some things. You know, I'm going to be doing a lot of work on the road mostly. And I need to be able to, you know, and then have where I have a studio inside in the back where when I do interviews, you know, say it's nasty weather, say it's uh you know, whatever, there's a way that we can, you know, I can, like, if I go swing by home and I have friends, we can hang out in the studio and we can have a show. It's all about, because even though I'm going to be on the road, I still want to be able to do the live shows like I, you know, have been giving you guys every night. And that way I can still give you guys, like, say I'm traveling between Pennsylvania and Oklahoma, you know, maybe I want to stop in Illinois and get some rest, and I can hang out and have a 2 or 3 hour hangout show with my studio in the van. I think it'd be really cool. So I could not only give you those shows, but it's basically in spots where I'd be getting rest and taking time in between destinations, and a good way to still give you guys those shows that you get like you get right now. I would just have a different background. That's it. But I would definitely have it set up uh, where it would be like a studio in the back, like a small studio. Lighting, table, cameras, microphones. Like a Winnebago. Yes, that, yeah, kind of like that. I mean, whoa, what's up with this live press conference, everybody?
Good afternoon.
Oh,
My name
wow.
is Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, Deputy Commissioner of Operations with the Pennsylvania State Police. Joining me today is District Attorney Deb Ryan, FBI ASAC Jamie Milligan, and Rob Clark from the U.S. Marshals. As I told you yesterday, this investigation has taken a change in direction in terms of the allocation of
This is their
resources
feed,
and
everybody.
daily focus of investigators. We have moved from a containment model to one which involves utilizing a variety of investigative resources and which has
Containment.
proven successful for us in the past.
Bro, you're not
We continue to
successful.
receive tips and information
What
from the
the-
public and are following up on those. Additionally, the public can expect to see a significant law enforcement presence in the area of East Nantmeal Township, where the van was recovered, as well as other areas of northern Chester County. There is no need for alarm when those resources are observed.
I
If a
apologize.
possible threat develops, we will use the reverse 911 system to notify affected residents.
They're doing the best they can,
I'd like to address a message to anyone who may have already
especially
offered
everybody
assistance
underneath
or
him.
is contemplating
They're doing an
assisting
awesome job.
Cavalcante in any way. We
I
will
just
prosecute
question
you fully
the-
for
the-
those actions.
The tactic.
Alternatively, I would suggest that you are in a position to help facilitate the safe capture of Cavalcante. If you
Yes.
choose to assist us, you could be eligible for some or all of the reward that has been offered for Cavalcante's capture. As a matter of fact, I'm announcing today that Chester County has increased the amount of reward they are offering by another $5,000.
5,000.
That brings the total reward offered up to $25,000 for information that leads to the capture of Cavalcante. We remain.
Okay, I'm gonna play that part again because I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to understand. I will be safe.
Rob Clark from the U.S. Marshals. As I told you yesterday, this investigation has taken a change in direction in terms of the allocation of resources and daily focus of investigators. We have moved from a containment model to one which involves utilizing a variety of investigative resources and which has proven successful for us in the past.
Yes, very lousy increase.
We continue to receive tips and information from the public and are following up on those. Additionally, the
Right
public
here.
can expect to see a significant law enforcement presence in the area of East Nantmeal Township, where the van was recovered, as well as other areas of northern Chester County. There is no need for alarm when those resources are observed. If a possible threat develops, we will use the reverse 911 system to notify affected residents. I'd like to address a message to anyone who may have already offered assistance or is contemplating assisting Cavalcante in any way.
Wow.
We
There you
will
go.
prosecute you fully for those
Yes.
actions. Alternatively, I would suggest that you are in a position to help facilitate the safe capture of Cavalcante.
Yes.
If you choose to assist us, you could be eligible for some or all of the reward that has been offered for Cavalcante's capture.
So it's up to $25,000 now, which is a joke. I just rewound this a little bit to respect Fox 29 and to not do a total live because I do that with all the creators.
Up to $25,000 for information
Out
that
of
leads to the
respect.
capture of Cavalcante. We remain concerned that Cavalcante will attempt to steal another vehicle to facilitate his escape. As a reminder, we ask for the public's help by familiarizing themselves with the updated photographs and description of Cavalcante, to check security cameras they have, and to call us immediately if they believe they may have seen him. Again, we ask residents to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles. It is imperative that anyone with information about Cavalcante contact us immediately so that we may act on that information in a timely manner. Anyone with information is asked to call our tip line at 717-562-2987. 717-562-2987. I know this is an extremely stressful time for the community. We are doing everything possible to bring this to a successful resolution as quickly as possible. I and all of us working on this every day appreciate all of the support that all of you have given. Thank you very much for that support. At this time, we will be happy to take any questions you might have.
Did you have evidence that someone has tried to help him, or is that why you've arrested the
Yeah.
The sister is an overstay, and she chose not to assist. And because of being in an overstay status,
What?
she has been entered into a deportation proceeding and is being detained at this time.
Whoa.
You wanted her to help you, she did not.
She has not assisted.
Do you have any evidence of anybody else who's tried to help him? You just put a warning up there.
Okay, this is my damn question. Why are you setting her up for deportation? Put more frickin' pressure on her, dude. Why are you letting her? You don't think she already knew? You don't think she already knew that that was going to take place? You don't think she already thought, you know what, by helping him, I'm going to get caught, I'm going to get deported? You don't.
You have people who you know who did try to.
I'm cautioning people preemptively, and yes, we are monitoring. We're monitoring for any possible help in a variety of ways. And so, what I would tell you is that if we detect assistance, that will be prosecuted. I'm not going to say anything further than that in terms of who may or may not have. What I'm going to say is, as a warning, you will be prosecuted. There is an alternative path to try and assist with his safe capture.
I want to touch base on the timeline here, make sure that we're correct. So he shows up at these homes 10:30, we think, Saturday night, but yet people in the neighborhood say police weren't making checks until well after 2 o'clock in the morning. Was there any kind of delay here? The people at the church tell us that people didn't start listening around the church till 3 a.m.
We weren't notified until well after midnight of the sightings.
So 2 hours after he shows up at this house and has a conversation with
At least 2 hours.
Were there issues with 911 with that call from that family on the Ring doorbell camera? Were there any issues? Can you walk us through? Can you actually just walk us through that?
Yeah, but that's if there's
I'm
a
not
whole
aware
bunch
any
of.
issues with the 911 system.
He's long gone
and,
from that
I'm
spot.
not going to comment further. What I'm going to tell
So
you, I've already laid out what the timeline was, and what I
anybody
would
else
tell you
helping,
is that the individuals,
which would be
so
friends,
with,
right?
for example, the one was not home at the time. They were utilizing a doorbell to speak with him. They arrived home sometime later, reviewed the video, and contacted local police. Whatever occurred there, we were not a part of it. We received the notice, and I gave you the time yesterday. I don't have it in front of me, but it was sometime around 12:30, as I recall. So after midnight, when we received the notice, and our investigators then began working on that information.
the only 2 places that you believe he was, because we had neighbors in another Phoenixville neighborhood telling us that there was a heavy police presence, that he was knocking on doors in that neighborhood as well.
Those were the only two that we have reports that he communicated with anyone.
Lieutenant Colonel, at this point, have there been any other visual confirmed sightings since this doorbell photo was released?
There have not.
Do you have any reason to believe that he's just vanished without a trace? Do you still believe he's within Pennsylvania?
Well, of course, he hasn't vanished without a trace, and for a variety of reasons, yes, I do believe that he is in Pennsylvania.
How many law enforcement personnel do you have working on this now?
Okay, still in PA.
That total right now is still probably hovering around the 300 mark, and yes, we have brought in additional resources, so we're switching some out. I described yesterday that today, as a matter of fact, we had planned a major push, and so there were a lot more uniform resources. There were tactical teams, a very large number of tactical teams, and a lot of other assets that would have been utilized. We have instead replaced some of those resources, certainly not all, with other investigative resources. Because
I don't
as
think
I
so.
told you, the investigation has shifted.
I think
and so
it was
not
there
only the
still.
state police, but our federal partners as well have brought in additional resources that we believe will be useful going forward. We collectively conduct fugitive investigations every day of the year. And so this one is at a little different scale, but it's the type of investigation each of our agencies works on a very regular basis, and we're now adjusting with the resources we believe we need.
Generally, why weren't there assets at these acquaintances' homes before he made this appearance? And are you doing that moving forward in this investigation?
Well, when you say acquaintances' homes, what I would tell you is that these people had not, to my knowledge, had any contact with Cavalcante for years. So they were not friends. They were prior work associates, for example, and they were not people that we would have expected or that we would have known even to contact, again, from the distant past.
Sir, any thoughts on raising the reward to 50,000 or 100,000 to help bring him to justice sooner rather than later?
Well, no, again, right now we're announcing that the reward is at $25,000. I do believe that's a lot of money. I'm hard pressed to believe that someone is sitting out there with information saying $25,000 is not enough. I suppose we'll consider things as we go forward, whether that will increase or not. But for right now, that seems to be a pretty reasonable amount, I think.
So with the reward, with no defined area to search, are you 100% reliant on public tips in order to find it?
No.
Can you talk about the
There's been a lot of reports or rumors, I should say, that Cavalcante's sister previously was seen near the search perimeter in a U-Haul or some other type of vehicle. Is there any credence to that led to her arrest?
No, I've heard those reports. Her arrest was, again, because she is an overstay. That was a process that would play out for anyone in her same circumstance. And what I would say is she has failed to cooperate, and so there was no value in law enforcement keeping her here at this point.
Previously, she has through the communications with the sister and acquaintances. What do you know about the resources he may have? Cell phone, money, food. What is he asking these people? And can you kind of divulge what kind of intelligence you gathered in terms of what?
No, I don't want to talk specifically about what I think he may or may not have or what he's looking for. Those are all pieces of our investigation. But I think it's, again, fair to say what I've said all along, and that is he needs additional help. He needs resources for the long run, and he is seeking those.
Sir, have you expanded the search for Berks County at all?
We don't have a defined search area at this point. We're considering and certainly acting on and investigating any piece of information or tip that we receive. And so we follow those pieces of investigation, pieces of information with our investigation, as we have done right from the very start, regardless of where they are. There are areas that I described, for example, in East Nant Mill Township, for example, that may have a little more of our focus of some of our resources that are more visible. But again, that certainly is not a limiter at all for everything else that we're doing.
Speaking generally, why do you still believe he's in Pennsylvania?
Because I have no reason to believe that he is not. I don't believe he has the resources to get out of Pennsylvania. And again, other pieces of information that we have generated within this investigation lead me to believe that he is still here.
Sorry.
I'm not going to talk about who we've contacted. He does.
It makes
still
no
have,
sense.
Some family and friends in the area, and we are
Think
aware
about
of
it.
those.
Think about this, everybody. What if it was day 2, right? What if it was day 2 and they made the reward 100,000, 150,000? Because when you're sitting down planning this shit, you have to think about the cost that it could literally take. So you have to think day by day. You have to make 5 or 6 different decisions and then see which one is the most plausible, right? So you have to account for shit like this happening when you're projecting future costs. So when you're looking at this as a planner, and you go, okay, this could be a multiple day operation. It's this much per day that it's going to cost. So let's set the reward at a third of that cost of the upfront that we think it possibly could be, 4 or 5 days. Let's set the cost about a third of that 4 or 5 day cost that it would take. Set that as the reward. Do you not think that the sister would have took 150,000 frickin' dollars instead of getting her ass deported? Just saying. think about it.
And I assume her immigration status was known earlier.
That's what I was saying earlier in the week, last week.
From my perspective, and while I don't
Yo,
have anything to do with the
money
removal
talks,
process,
buddy, especially
there's
right
no
now.
reason for me to try to interfere in that process because she serves no value to the investigation and
It's all
she
about
potentially
planning.
could provide assistance. And I'm not confident that she would not in the future if we let her out there.
Can you talk about what led to the activity we saw last night? You said since the doorbell camera, there weren't any confirmed sightings. Could you expand on that a little bit?
It's so sad.
We continue to receive a significant number of tips, and so again, we will follow up on all of those. We have things that we are doing
Significant number.
proactively, and so you may see some activity as a result of that. We have, and I said there are other things that
Significant
may not be
tips.
so obvious that you won't see that are going on as well.
What kind of challenges is law enforcement facing in the search efforts in terms of terrain? I mean, obviously it's a very rural area, and you spoke about yesterday how he was able to manage his way outside of the perimeter. So what kind of challenges are we facing after heading?
Very similar challenges in terms of the search efforts, very similar challenges to what we have faced previously to this point. Unfortunately, we don't have a containment area right now, so that's another,
So
another
what?
concern,
There's
another
no.
challenge. But again, we're working through all of that,
Let me
trying to
see
pull together pieces of information so that we
what we
can
got new
narrow
for today.
and search area, and ultimately use those tools to be able to capture him.
So we just have 910 published an hour ago.
As I said yesterday, I don't have a definitive answer on that. I have my theories of how that happened. I have those theories because I'm aware of the weaknesses that were in there. I explained yesterday that no perimeter is 100% secure. It's not a wall. It doesn't have a ceiling. It doesn't have all of the things that you might normally use if you're trying to contain someone. We use the human element. We use technology and so forth to be able to try and secure the perimeter as best we can. I am aware of some of the weaknesses. Longwood Gardens presented some very unique challenges, and I believe he exploited one of those weaknesses.
Do you believe any mistakes were made that allowed him to get out of that perimeter?
Dunkin' Donuts sounds
I don't know
good.
that I would characterize it as a mistake. As I said, again, without knowing specifically what happened, what I would tell you is that I had concerns. I knew that there were weaknesses in that perimeter. It was a very strong perimeter as far as perimeters go, but there are always weaknesses, and that place posed some very unique challenges. Perhaps when this is all over, I can talk about some of those, but it was a.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people asking questions. That's no doubt. People will want you to talk, sir.
Well, sir, we conduct, as I indicated,
Good
we conduct
question.
fugitive investigations every day of the year
Good
across
question.
the Commonwealth, as do our partners that are standing here with me. Each one of them poses a challenge.
Oh, he's
We are
getting upset.
Most often very successful in those. Most don't lead to a protracted search like this. I am confident that
That's why
using
this
all of
is
those
national
resources, we
news.
will ultimately bring this one to a
Because
successful
usually they
conclusion as
don't.
well.
Sir, it is September 11th. Any thoughts on the men and women that are on the ground with you, federal, state, and county law enforcement and local law enforcement working together this day for the last 12 days searching for this convicted killer?
Well, certainly today is a day of remembrance, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims
Yes.
of 9/11.
Thoughts and prayers.
But what I would tell you is that the men and women that are working here on this investigation are not pausing or taking a break. They are actively working and doing their jobs because that's what people expect them to do.
Question for Rob Clark, as far as how the marshals are now investigating. You mentioned before this was like a tactical game, cat and mouse. What changes now?
Or chase your tail.
That are out there looking for?
That's a good question. So in the beginning, we were prepping here for the short game. We had a tactical response prepared in a certain area. And while that response was being prepared, we had a group of investigators from the U.S. Marshal Service here, some of the brightest minds in the agency, having a contingency plan of what we were going to do should he break perimeter or if he was outside that perimeter. So we had proactively planned for this. And I would say, we have our pre-operational planning set, our tactical resources, our technical resources were all brought here. And now we're planning for the long game. The search in the woods was to Cavalcante's advantage. He was in an 8 square mile area that with very difficult terrain. That was very, very difficult to get to. And there were some weaknesses in the perimeter. I think the incident command here was great, setting up the perimeter, bringing the resources, and doing the absolute best we could. We had, I think, over 200 law enforcement officers in or around that perimeter. But now we're going to prepare.
Yeah,
for the
there's
long
only
game,
one
and the
helicopter
long
up there.
game
I'll
is
switch
what
to
we
it
do
and
best.
show
The
you
U.S.
guys here
Marshal
after the
Service,
press.
like the colonel said, does fugitive investigations
There's only
every
one.
day. This is a manhunt, and all that means to us is that it's a longer fugitive investigation with more resources. So,
Circling the same area, though, I might add.
I'm sorry.
Is Cavalcante playing your game now?
Cavalcante is now, I think the advantage has switched to law enforcement. Before it was advantage Cavalcante, while he was playing that tactical hide and seek in the woods. Now I believe it's advantage law enforcement because he's in an urban gators and we're force multiplied here by these other federal, state, and local agencies. So I believe the advantage has switched to law enforcement.
The fact you
So
call
what do
this
you
the
do?
long.
What is it that you do in this long game, in this urban setting? What changes? You go door to door? How do you look?
Well, there's a lot of different investigative techniques. I don't want to specify exactly what they are, but we're going to do the same thing we do every day in the city of Philadelphia. We're going to go out. We're going to talk to people. We're going to utilize the assets of the U.S. Marshal Service, certain investigative techniques that I don't want to reveal.
Right?
But we're going to try to stay one step ahead.
Oh, trust me. I mean, I'm already going to be prepared, if I run into this individual, if I'm there. Like, I'm already prepared, so. But I'm not really going to be searching like that. I'm going to be trying to hit the communities more and things like that. So, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try and help in that regard as well.
The perimeter, is that based on resources or was that geographical?
I'm sorry, the first part of your question.
You mentioned, you said that there were some weaknesses in the perimeter.
Right.
Yeah, there was weaknesses. That's why he keeps leaving.
Maybe
Now,
I misspoke, not weaknesses.
what's
There were a lot of
interesting,
challenges
after
inside the
we
perimeter. I believe the lieutenant colonel said
StreamYard,
yesterday, and he was
I was trying to pause that. After we get through this, I want to show you the location where this helicopter was like really doing some searches there. Very interesting, and it's going to be interesting where the location is too.
was very accurate because I've been in the inside of that perimeter. I was there.
I'll be
with
showing
our
that coming up here.
investigators. There's a massive tunnel system. There's a lot of ravines. It's very, very thick vegetation there. It was a very, very difficult environment to maintain.
Sir, you could call this the long game. Some people might think that means you don't expect to catch him soon. Is that the case?
No, I mean, we expect to catch him as soon as possible, but we're not going to put all our ducks in a row and say, hey, we're going to have him by this Thursday. We're going to plan for a long investigation because we don't want to get caught planning for an immediate arrest and then we're not prepared later down the line.
Sir, given
They
that
have no idea where he's at. They have no idea.
Park, another vast area, are you also concentrating more solely on the
They have no idea.
successfully able to hide in
Why is my
some of this
Discord
kind of
not coming
area
up?
versus, where 202 and other routes, there's cameras everywhere, and that would be a way easier to find him in lieu of a cell phone.
Sorry, my Discord's not coming up for some reason, mods.
Well, like the colonel said, we're investigating that area in East Nantmeal until something suggests he's not in that area. We're going to continue to investigate there. I'd reiterate the message from the colonel to the public. Please be vigilant in the areas that we're searching. Make sure your doors are locked. Make sure your car keys are secured in your residence. Report anything suspicious to law enforcement. And if you have tips, call them in because we'd like to investigate 100 bad tips rather than miss that one good tip that's not called in. Not that we're aware of.
You talk about a protracted search. Another one that comes to mind would be Green nearly 10 years ago. Went on for some days. What are some of the similarities and differences between these two searches?
That's a question probably better for the colonel.
Well, what I would tell you is every search has its challenges.
Sorry, my
Some of the
computer's like
similarities,
freezing.
Large search area, very difficult to know exactly where it was. And I would tell you that almost 9 years ago to the day,
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
some of
they
you
lost
all were
him.
standing with me in that area up there. And some of these same questions were being posed. What makes us think we can catch him? He's a trained survivalist. And I would add that he had already shot 2 troopers at that point, and so it added another dimension to the whole thing. Some of those same challenges, some of those lessons learned from freeing have made us better as an agency, and we've taken those lessons and we adapt those here. There have been a number of searches between Freen and now. And again, we learn something from each one of those. We'll learn things from this search. In the end,
Come on,
collectively with
computer.
our partners, we will be successful and we will capture him.
Colonel Nivens, I know that you have been continuing to say that you believe he's in Pennsylvania. Do you have any reason to believe he's still in Chester County?
Again, without information to the contrary, yes, I believe he's in Chester County. But with that said, we always consider other options. You know, the marshal just said that we've had plans all along, and he's exactly right. We collectively have been discussing right from the very beginning. What if? It's, you know,
Come on, computer.
when we can
Damn.
bring this group of experts that we've assembled here together, it makes for an amazing team. There are a lot of good ideas, a lot of planning for contingencies, and a lot of great resources that are put to work out there in the field every day. We're trying to use the talents of all of those people and make this a successful operation.
Lieutenant Colonel, we've seen a lot of reports of citizens arming themselves, sort of driving around the perimeter, expressing an interest in helping. Have you received any complaints or even made any arrests of people inappropriately walking through the perimeter or otherwise behaving inappropriately?
We have not made any arrests. We have received calls from others about some of those citizens. We've investigated again. We have not made any arrests. And I would ask again that people consider not doing that. They're interfering in our investigation, potentially drawing resources away from the task at hand.
How?
An unfortunate incident to cause anyone to get hurt.
Dude, we're trying to fucking help. What do you think community is? We're trying to help. And if you're not getting it done, why wouldn't you want help? If I can't figure out the math problem, don't I want help? Instead of keep looking at the math problem and get confused? Why is he saying these things?
You tell your folks that they should now assume that because of his contact in different places that he's armed, that he's obviously dangerous from his history. Now he's likely to have gotten a weapon somewhere.
We obviously have always treated him as being dangerous, and we have always treated him as potentially being armed. He's been carrying a pack. There's no way to know exactly what's in that pack or what he obtained early on in this investigation and search. And so we've always treated him as though he may be armed, and certainly with his history of being as dangerous as he is, having been charged with one homicide and now charged and convicted with a second, I think it's fair to say that he needs to be treated in that manner.
Where was the sister?
Interaction with the ring.
I'm sorry.
You plan to release the ring camera interaction anytime soon for us to review?
I've not made a decision on that. I will tell you that it's in Portuguese, so it's not something that's easily reviewed anyway. It needs to be completely translated. We have done that for investigative purposes.
Commercial zone.
But again, as I said yesterday, for me, the focus was on getting these photographs out. They really are the thing that provides value. And you know, before we release full videos along with audio, we want to make sure that there's no impact on the investigation.
Yesterday you talked about a full sweep happening and doubling manpower and things of that nature. What does that full sweep involve? You also talked about training 600 people. I know you said earlier about 300 people. What happened with those numbers there?
Well, you're misunderstanding. So what I was talking about was an operation that had been planned over the weekend to begin this morning, and was to sweep the entire secured perimeter.
We're misunderstood.
along
That's
with
right.
Gardens and the surrounding property. Within
We're
that perimeter.
misunderstood.
And so we had planned a very large operation in order to try and make sure we thoroughly searched those grounds. That was what I was talking about with those very large numbers. You know, the marshal mentioned, and I've alluded to them before, about the challenges in there. It is a unique place to search, and it really takes a lot of resources. You know, when some of the sightings occurred in there, we had skilled tactical teams in there from
Ticket
multiple
24.
agencies.
Ticket 24.
and even
Thank you,
then,
Cindy.
it was problematic to try and capture him or to find him again once a brief sighting occurred. The cover is that dense, and just a multitude of places to hide.
Do people living in that area still need to be on guard? In Kennett Square, do they still need to be checking their surveillance?
Wait until I show you the new location where this helicopter was flying when
I'm
this
not
press
afraid.
conference
What
is
I'm
done.
suggesting is that people should be vigilant. And I can't say that only people within some 1 square mile area someplace
Yeah.
should be the only ones to be vigilant. As we saw, someone near the perimeter had a
Yeah.
problem and left their vehicle unsecured with keys in it. That posed a problem. And so what I'm asking is that anyone, certainly in a very, it's a good practice anytime. They shouldn't be leaving their keys in the car. I'm just asking people to double down and be especially vigilant and make sure that they aren't doing things like that, particularly now when we're involved in this manhunt.
So you had no containment area. Can you specifically, you don't have a containment area like you did previously near Longwood?
Yes.
Can you specifically, just more specifics on that? Talk about your new tactics. Like what new tactics?
So when I said there's no specific containment area, you saw at Longwood and in some
Like I
other
s- it's
areas
always
around here,
it's always
very
shifting,
specific
remember?
border that was formed by law enforcement so that we could search within that border. What I'm saying is that I have not formed a similar border, a physical presence to contain an area. We are, however, still conducting searches without identifying and securing a very specific area. We're conducting searches of some large areas of ground using some of those same tactical teams and other resources.
On the sister, which agency initially picked her up? Where was she initially picked up? And just to clarify, you said at least you're concerned that she may help him again. Did she attempt to help him prior to being picked up?
I'm not going to discuss what she did with regard to helping him or not. What I would tell you is that she is in the custody of federal authorities, ICE, and we have no involvement in that, and so I don't have a lot of other information.
But you guys did not pick her up initially and then pass her off to us.
I don't know specifically how that played out. I just know that there was a discussion and an agreement here that that proceeding could take place. I don't know who worked with ICE to get that done. Well, again, I'm not going to talk specific tactics. We will use all available tools, and we are seeking the cooperation of any and everyone in order to bring this to a safe, successful resolution.
In terms of that doorbell message you just said, what was he asking for specifically in regards to support?
What I'm going to say is, generally speaking, he was focused in that message about trying to meet with these individuals. As I said, they were not home. And so he was trying to arrange a meeting and to make sure that that would occur without anyone else present. There were some other discussions that I'm not going to go into, but that was really the biggest focus. Was he was trying to make contact and he was trying to solicit help.
Did he mention what location he wanted to meet at?
There was not a specific location identified. There were a couple of places talked about, but ultimately there was no agreement to meet.
Sir, in terms of canine support, we've seen some wonderful German Shepherd officers. Have you brought in bloodhounds?
We have. We have utilized a variety of canine types. And again, I rely on the expertise of our various canine officers to tell me what it is they need and what other resources they need. And we've acted on that as needed.
Do you have any idea why he was heading from Phoenixville area to East Mansfield Township and what his next move could be?
We have some theories about why that occurred, but again, until he's captured and interviewed, we won't know that for sure.
Senator, what was the tone of that message? Did it seem urgent? Did it seem confident? Did it seem arrogant?
Good question. Good question.
Can you give us a sense of what that message sounded like?
I would characterize it as urgent but friendly.
Good
It was
question.
someone he clearly had not spoken to in some period of time, and so there was a reacquaintance and an effort to get assistance.
Does sister work as a housekeeper in this area or any of the areas that you're
I don't know.
So there's been a little confusion on the doorbell camera. So he arrives, he speaks into it.
Yes.
So the people whose home that is, do they have a conversation with him? Is it just he leaves a message in the Ring camera?
They have a conversation with him.
They spoke back to him?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what they said to him?
Well, again, I characterize it generally as a reacquaintance and a discussion about trying to meet and to get some assistance.
And then they didn't tell you about it until several hours after that?
It was reported to the local police, and then the local police investigated. And ultimately, what I'm saying is I was not a part of that, but there was a couple of hour period of time there before we became aware of it.
I talked to the people in that house. I talked to a family member of the people in that house. They say that they reported their conversation to police immediately. Is that true? And what explains that delay?
I have no reason to doubt their account. I'm simply reporting to you the pieces that I have control or have knowledge of, and that is that we did not receive that information until about 12:30 that night. What steps the police department took to investigate that, whether there was, and I'm only speculating now, whether there was an issue or a concern because it was not in English, it was in Portuguese. I have not personally spoken to the officers. I know our investigators have. What I can tell you is that period of time lapsed before we became involved and became aware.
It's clear that he reached out to your former coworker. Have you made a list of other people he's worked with or had relationships with in order to contact them since this was not cooperating?
Certainly, any possible associates, family members, all of that are part of our ongoing investigation. The marshal alluded to the fact that there is a very thorough investigation. Much of that, if not all, was known even while we were working on the containment and capture model, again, as a contingency, should it be necessary.
Contingency.
Sir, any chance today that you'll be able to share? Did you work in the mushroom houses here in Chester County or at Equestria Farm? He seems
Oh, wow.
familiar with the farms throughout the county here a bit. Any insight you can share in terms of where he was working in Chester County?
I've read pretty significant history on him, but I'm not prepared today to stand here and talk to you about all that work history. He's been here for some time. He does have some varied experience, but again, I'm not prepared to.
You're very calm when you talk about the delay between when your investigators learned about it. You talked about cooperation and the need for cooperation. It's got to be frustrating to hear that he was reported almost immediately, but then wasn't.
Well, as I've indicated, I don't know the circumstances of why that wasn't reported. Our investigators have looked into it. There was certainly, we're not looking at did somebody engage in misconduct or anything like that. And so those are the circumstances we're faced with. And so the best I can do is what I've done all along, and that is to ask whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the public, or any other agency that might come in contact with anyone that would and it would possess some information. Please get that information to us very quickly. That's the best we can do. We need people to cooperate, and that's what we're asking
Can
for.
you do a quick recap of the timeline of the escape? They realized 2 hours later, the stolen van, the sighting on the ring. Can you do a quick timeline?
Well, I don't have a timeline as far as he escaped. What we know is that
Not even a
that at some
timeline.
point that evening, that van was parked
Wow.
late afternoon, 4:30, 4:45 was the last time that the owner saw that vehicle. What I can tell you is that we know that at some point that night, we now know, and again, without the times here in front of me, at 9 something and around 10 o'clock or so, 2 different contacts occurred in East Pikeland and in Phoenixville. Those contacts were ultimately reported to law enforcement. We were made aware of those at around 12:30 that night into the next morning. We still did not know about the stolen van at that point. Based on all of the information we gathered from those 2 contacts, we started looking for the potential for a stolen vehicle using a number of pieces of information. Our investigators were able to conclude what type of a vehicle it might be, and we sought out owners of those vehicles kind of in close proximity to where we were, And with that, we identified the owner of the vehicle and they reported it stolen at that time. And so that all played out until 5 o'clock in the morning, roughly. And again, I know we've talked about specific times. I'm just speaking from memory in the ballpark.
Just believe that while he had the stolen van, he made a contact with the ring camera and another contact.
Yes.
Right.
Has the government of Brazil sent anyone here to work with law enforcement on the ground in Chester County, or has the government appointed a point person from law enforcement in Brazil to answer your questions on call 24/7?
The short answer is there is not a contact from the government of Brazil here. We do have, as a result of the prosecution that was done, the district attorney's office possessed really, I think, the information we needed in terms of his background and experiences, and we've been able to utilize that information.
I mean, on social media, you mentioned the bloodhounds, the German shepherds, we've seen the helicopters. What other tools are being utilized right now today out there?
Well, there's a whole array of technology that's being utilized. Again, I'm not going to go into the specifics of that. That puts us at a disadvantage when we explain everything we're doing, what the capabilities of that are. And so what I would tell you is that any available reasonable resources being brought to bear from not only the state police, but from the marshal, the FBI, from the county, from any agency that possesses the expertise, the technology, the investigative experiences are all being brought to bear on this.
Going back to the start, have there been other weaknesses or potential co-conspirators within the Chester County person that would have been able to escape in the first place? Now this investigation is going on.
That will, when we finally conclude this investigation, we'll be able to speak more to any co-conspirators or anything. Right now, I'm not prepared to discuss that. We've made no arrests, filed no charges in that, and so it would be premature of us to address anything like that now.
Those earlier break-ins that
Social media has been really beat up. I'm sure you've seen the comments yourself, but there's hundreds of law enforcement personnel out there. There's dogs, there's drones, etc. And some people are asking, why draw the line at 200 searches, 300 searches? Why not just flood the zone and appeal to as many out-of-state resources as possible and get more people on the ground? What's stopping you from doing that?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, no, I don't look at social media comments ever. Secondly,
Probably
in
should
terms
sometime.
of the number of people, would it satisfy them if I put 1,000? Would it satisfy them if I put 2,000 or 3,000 or 10,000? I suspect that those who criticize without the experience and the knowledge of the specifics of the investigation would not be satisfied regardless of what we did. What I can assure the citizens, the residents of these communities, are that we are doing everything possible, everything reasonable, and utilizing all available resources. If we needed 1,000 people, we would do it. Somebody mentioned Freen earlier. There were days there I had 1,000 law enforcement officers or more on any given operating period up there. If we needed that, we would have it.
Why do you feel you don't?
I don't have the type of information that I would need to make the best use of all of those people. And to flood an area with unnecessary resources would interfere with people going about their daily lives. And so we're trying to find.
See, I'm not going to be interfering. I'm going to be reaching out. I'm going to be offering help. I'm going to be reaching out to the communities, letting them talk, letting them tell me what they think, letting them tell me how they feel. No chaser, unfiltered. Because sometimes when people are going through things like this, they just need somebody to listen. They just need somebody to talk to. They just need somebody to hear what they have to say. They just need to get it off their chest. That's why I say these conversations I'm going to have, just like we're sitting down on lawn chairs, having a glass of tea or coffee. So this is no hindrance. Dude, I'm not going to be in your perimeter. Maybe outside the perimeter here and there, but I'm going to be going everywhere. So I promise you and everybody involved that I'm not going to be a hindrance. I'm there to help. Community presence and support. That goes along with the peace, positivity, and progress. That's where I'm coming from. And that's what I plan on doing.
Find that balance
Not
of
a
being
hindrance.
as least intrusive as possible, while at the same time ensuring we've got every single resource we need to successfully conduct this
Right,
investigation.
point in the investigation for those earlier home break-ins within the Longwood Garden property, have you been able to confirm whether or not you actually entered anyone's home or broke into anyone's property there?
I don't have any conclusive evidence to suggest that that he was responsible for any one of those burglaries. That's not to say that he couldn't have been. I'm saying I don't have a fingerprint. I don't have DNA to say that he was the person who did the certain break-in.
Is the sister's apprehension in any way a possible warning to others who may know
I'll let that to others to look at that and draw their own conclusion. What I would say is, if someone is thinking about offering assistance and acts on that, we will take whatever actions are appropriate based on what they've done.
There's some concern of the local possession community that he's sticking around because he wants to come after people within the community. Can you talk about that fear that they're expressing and to get their trust on social
We have no information to suggest that at all. I will tell you that without going into a lot of theory of this investigation, I believe that his actions show he's desperate. I believe that there was an opportunity to escape. I don't believe there was a lot of planning that went into that, and now he finds himself on the run. I think he is desperate. The fact that he has reached out to people with a very distant past connection tells me he doesn't have a great network of support. So I think he's desperate, and I've characterized him as that all along. And I think the longer we push, the more resources, the more tools we bring to bear, we will ultimately capture him. He doesn't have what he needs to last long term.
So the key is determining perhaps where he fled when he left that white van in northern Chester County. Do you know what direction he went? Specifically the path that you're searching? I mean,
I'm not there again. I'm not going to talk specifically about pieces of information that we may have gleaned.
Listen, why not? Because you're going to give us a new perimeter, and that's based off the location of why would you see what I'm saying? If you know, right? If you know when it comes to those questions, you offer that information because that information is going to become apparent when you release the new perimeter. If you don't know, then you answer the question like this: I'm not prepared to divulge that information on a current investigation.
What I would say is that what I've already said, then that is that we will continue to search in that area. The fact is, let's suppose for a moment I was to tell you he
Mm.
fled to the east. There's nothing to suggest that 100 yards into the wood he didn't then turn north. And so we will follow.
That's not what she was
various
asking.
investigative leads that we gain, and
She was asking the direction of the van and where if you knew where the direction of the van was going.
follow up on this investigation as appropriate. So, okay. I thank you again very much.
Wow. All right. So the new location that they've been flying around here is this Westchester area. And now it was flying around Westchester. Now it's going around this area right here as of recently. So I'm going to zoom back. And this is by Chester Brook right there. Zoom back a little bit farther. Look, it's south of Phoenixville. Now you got this one over here, private owner. Now this one's probably heading back to this location up north, right up in this area, coming up here. So I'm going to see if there's any updates going on here. Give me 1 second. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and end the show because I'm going to get some prep done. and kind of see what's going on and get together with the team. So press view map and select multi views. Multi select. Thank you. So go to that one and we'll go to that one. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Judgmental. Awesome. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate the help. I got the silver. I just never used it that much. And since I will be now. Now, this is kind of like what I'm going to kind of explain in a way. So say say I'm on location, right? You're going to have two different options when it comes to different screens. You're going to have a larger screen when it comes like this, then a smaller screen. The screen that you're going to see now would be on location with the flight radar. So you'll see the vehicle, the dash, you'll see the flight radar. We'll have the scanner going at the same time. And then also there will be some different screens where you'll get something like this where you'll also see something like this where but I'll be a lot bigger than that, but you'll see, during different times, you'll see that zoomed up and you'll see me off to the side. Um, so here, I'll go ahead and we'll show you. Let's see, we'll have that and we'll take this one. And then what I'll do, I'll just kind of do it live for you here real quick. So you'll see, so there'll be some times where you see me like this. All right. And like when you got flight radar, see? Let me see here. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Why isn't it letting me put it over that? I don't know. I'll have to fool around. It's StreamYard. I'll have to fool around with it, but it'll be switched around and stuff, so you'll get different things, and then also, the screens like this and stuff. All right, so that's the flight radar. Whoop. Come on. There we go. Like this. This is what I was trying to show you guys. Something like this, but wonder if I can see if that works. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have other people kind of helping me out when I'm on the road. That way they can run these things. You can see screens like this. So when we're talking about flight radar and I'm just in between somewhere, when I'm actually somewhere, then we could flip it around and you could still see the flight radar up there with my location. It's going to be kind of an interactive way for you guys. So, and it's definitely a team effort. I can't do it alone. So I appreciate everybody. All right. So these are the latest updates. Let me see if there's anything going on here. 1 second. Okay, I'm not seeing nothing there. Okay. I'm not seeing anything there. Let me check one more. Yep, I've been saying for a long time I got a lot of stuff here and here, and I just wish that I had the opportunity to show it, and it's going to be happening. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. All right, I'm not seeing nothing in the background here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of this time. Definitely go hit up some of the other ones streaming Grizzly. Definitely True Crime. Definitely go hit up her stream. Um, I should swing by there real quick and drop her a little super chat or super sticker. I think I'll do that after the show's over. Just give her a little love and a little extra support for doing her part in taking care of this. So, and definitely, if any content creator wants to be able to use the footage that I'm going to be providing, I'll definitely be more than willing to hop on for guest spots and things like that for sure. It's time just to hang out, show perspective, totally cool. Or if anybody wants to use it, they're more than welcome. It's about the community and it's about helping trying to get this done and over. And it really is about this community, though. I want the community to be able to be heard, and that's the important thing. And that's why I'm doing it. Not necessarily to be like dog, but it's for the community. I want to hear their voices. I want them to have a place that they can feel free to talk and tell us how they feel and what they think and all that. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you. Definitely, if there's going to be an update and if I'm out and about, I will get on the mobile and I will fire a live up. So if you do see me live, I might just be on the mobile. If there is some breaking updates, but in the meantime, I am going to do some prep and get ready because I think I am going to be heading out at some point here in the near future. But I will let you all know for sure here coming up with either a live notification of On the Road, a live notification of a show tonight, or a community post letting you all know what's going on. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. And we will see you soon. Thank you, everybody. I can't wait. Thanks for being here in the very beginning because it's going to mean a lot when we get to the end. Appreciate you all so much.